Hello everybody, thank you so much for coming by the channel. Hey, if you're new here, we do theology, resource reviews, and there's a whole lot of Bible reviews in here also. For those of you that stop by often, thank you so much. I hope that this channel blesses you and just betters your walk with God. That being said, I have a Bible review for you today. For those of you that know me at all, you know I'm an ESV guy typically, but this Bible just came in it, and I'm super excited about it. I opened it, and I just can't wait to be using it. And there's a reason I switched, and we'll talk about that. My pastor reads from the New King James Version, so if the New King James Version is a legit text, I ended up switching my kids over, which I have a video on, to New King James so they could read along and they didn't have to switch the words around in their head. So I thought, why not get myself a new Bible? And I am so pleased with this Bible that I hope to share it with you so you guys can see what's out there. This is New King James Classic Verse by Verse Center Column Reference Bible, put out by Thomas Nelson. This is black leather soft. It comes in what they call leather soft, which is essentially like an imitation leather, essentially. It also comes in a premium version. This Bible is I got it for $39, and I'm so excited about it that I can't believe that I paid only $39. You can buy a premium goatskin edition, and I believe that one was closer to $130, and that's via Amazon. I'll leave you links to this Bible down in the description. So let's get into it. It does come with this like clamshell box. The box is a little bit munched when it showed up, but the Bible is okay inside. You just never know who's shipping it when it comes to Amazon and how well they wrap it. But again, that doesn't bother me as far as the box goes. On the back, you get a little information, and we'll show this to you, all the cross references. This is a red letter edition. You get a concordance. It is Smith sewn, and it has 2 satin ribbon markers, which is huge for a $40 Bible. That seems pretty rare. And 10-point font. This is one of the reasons that after doing some research why I chose this Bible is because of the font. And you do get your guarantee for life. Thomas Nelson guarantees their Bible. I have yet to have to take them up on that, but maybe someday I will, and we'll report to you how that goes. So you get this clamshell box. For those of you that keep your boxes, I'd be interested to hear, do you like clamshell or do you like 2-piece? I don't tend to keep my Bibles in the box, especially the ones I use all the time, so I don't really have an opinion. The clamshell just keeps it nice all one piece. So let's measure this and show you the dimensions, and we're going to compare it to a couple of Cambridge Bibles. So you're about 6.5 inches. By about 9.5 inches, and you're 1.25 inches, almost 1.5 inches thick. It really is not very big. I looked at a bunch of Bibles when I was looking for, let's call it my Sunday Bible, New King James Version text, and there's a handful of great choices out there, and I settled on this one. Price was a reason, I'm not gonna lie, and I'm so glad I did, because it has a lot of features that I wanted. So this was I even asked Botate, which he has tons and tons of great Bible reviews. Make sure you go to his channel and check out all the other versions of the New King James if you're a New King James Version. I asked people how it compared to the Topaz, because I love the Topaz. I love this Bible. The size is great. The font is great. So I wanted to know how it compared, and I couldn't find any comparison videos. I'll do a comparison video later. But as far as size goes, what I wanted to know was how similar is it? And it's almost dead on the same. I mean, maybe a centimeter, right? You can see it's about the same. I mean, it's almost dead on. And that's what I wanted, because I think that's a perfect size Bible for my needs. So that's the Topaz. I'll show you what it looks like compared to, say, Cambridge Wide Margin. Cambridge Wide Margin, same height and length, but of course you get the extra margin space, so it's about an extra inch and a half. It's about the same thickness. So let's get into this Bible. New King James Classic, verse by verse, center column by Thomas Nelson. The cover is, again, leather soft. It really is pretty soft considering it's not goat skin. If you have to have goat skin, they have that for you. But if not, this is still pretty soft. And I actually really like the texture because it's just smooth. Sometimes, if I'm holding it, reading it in church, whatever, and I like the smooth feeling of it as opposed to a real grainy leather sometimes. Just says Holy Bible, double stitched edges. There's a lot of nice parts of features to this Bible that I feel like you just wouldn't expect to find on a $40 Bible. So it's got all this pretty imprinting and stamping on the binding. The binding is not reinforced that I can tell, but these are kind of set in. They're stamped in. They're not raised. Just a little bit. Kind of a cool little feature. And the back is just simple and plain. I do have a little bit of beef with this, but at least they didn't accent it with gold or something like that. I just don't like when they stamp things into the absolute back. I'd rather than put it on the inside of the cover. But that's just a little piece of constructive criticism. It doesn't bother me enough to kind of whine about. You do get 2 ribbons. Like I said, for most inexpensive, what I would call an inexpensive non-premium Bible, finding more than 1 ribbon has been pretty difficult. But this has 2 really nice ribbons. They're both satin, different colors. And you see the gold art gilting. And the signatures there. All right, let's open her up and take a look inside. The liner's just pasted down. And it does not look like it's kind of tabbed into the block. For those of you who either have or have seen premium Bibles, sometimes you can't open the first page or two, an inch or two, because that's how they connect the cover with the paper with all the signatures. So it's supposed to be that way. Don't spread them, but that will make your Bible last a much longer time. You might have trouble in the future with a Bible that's not tabbed in like that, with the cover starting to separate. That being said, Thomas Nelson has a lifetime guarantee, as printed on the box, so that might not be as big of a problem. It does have a presentation page right here on this first. Always fill this out. That's my personal opinion. I have a Bible that's 120 years old, and nothing is written on there. It doesn't have a presentation page, and that makes me sad because I want to know. It's one of my family members. I would like to know this information. So always fill out your presentation pages. And we get to our title page and all of our important information. For those of you that might want to know, you can pause that. Library of Congress number. That might be the first time I've seen the Library of Congress number. The actual typeface that you're looking at is called Comfort Print. It was designed by 2K Denmark. They have a little thing in the back that we'll probably get to. And I actually love the layout of this Bible. That's one of the things that was super attractive. I saw videos and thought, oh, this looks great. Now that I've seen it in person, I'm so excited. I can kind of pick out New King James Version Bibles just by now because of this particular type font, especially when you open up to the beginning of a book, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So you get a basic table of contents and a preface. Preface tells you a little bit about the translation, how the translation worked, and the team that did that. All right, so this says lay flat. This is the very first page of the very first book of Genesis, and it's not going to lay flat. But as we wear it in, that'll change. So you do get about a 2, sometimes 3 paragraph intro to each book. And from my reading, I've been looking through this Bible for about a week now. And each book starts on a new page. And that's the thing for me. I love when it starts on a new page. It bothers me when it starts in the middle. The actual text of Scripture is separated by this line. Nice, pretty little artwork here. And the book and the titles, the section titles, headings, and the verse numbers are in red. That's not, I think I can actually tell the difference. For those of you that don't know, I am colorblind. So sometimes I have a trouble with red. Sometimes red doesn't stand out to me like it does to you. Especially if they use kind of not the wrong color red, but a red that I have trouble with. I can see the difference. It's not super, super bright, but it is pretty, and I like that the numbers stand out and are different. Let's flip open to a non-poetry section. 2-column format. Your references are down the middle. And you have about a 1/2 inch. There's not a copious amount of space to write in on the side of the Bible. Okay, you're looking at about a fingertip width. So for me, this Bible is not my study Bible. I, of course, will use it to study and read through, but this isn't the one I'm going to write in. I might highlight and underline here and there. But my writing Bible is that wide margin you saw, and it has plenty of space to write in. Actually, I do most of my writing on the computer. So this font, this 10-point font, is gorgeous. It really is pretty. There aren't too many words. Sometimes they try to squish too many words onto a line. Sometimes the words get buried in the center here, and it's kind of hard to see. This Bible doesn't have that problem. And in my hand, it lays open flat just fine, which is perfect. That's what I wanted. I'm going to be carrying this around, reading it while I'm standing up, not having a place to sit it, because it's going to be for church Bible studies and Sunday mornings. And so it's perfect for me. I don't have to squint to read it, although my eyes work very well in that particular aspect. I can see far, I just can't see color. I don't think even if you needed glasses or whatever that you'd have a problem with this font. 10-point font, and the way that it's laid out is beautiful. So see, every book starts this same way. You get a paragraph or two worth of just this isn't a study Bible, just a small intro. And it really is pretty. It sets the book apart, and I really like it. These ribbons are nice and long. When I was a kid, I'm going to say this and get hated on. When I was a kid, I used to cut them off. My first Bible, I cut them off because I thought, why is the ribbon so long? That was a mistake. All right. Let's take a look at the paper. The paper is, I think, 36 GSM, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that, but I thought that I read that it was 36 GSM. It's nice and thick, and there's very little ghosting. I do believe that it's line matched, and the only place you can see ghosting is in the spaces, which you're always going to have that, right? But because of the layout, I get nothing, no bleed through from the back, and there aren't a whole lot of distractions when it bleeds through. You have a hard time reading this page because of the page behind it. I don't think you're going to have a problem. I don't have a problem with that in this Bible at all. We do have a concordance. And one blank page. If you wanted to write some notes at the end of Revelation, you could. You have a basic concordance. I don't find myself using these a whole lot, but it's a nice feature to have if you want to look up a word, or you want to just, let's say, like you're sitting around and you want to study, one of these ideas, distress. You can go through all the verses and do that. And we do get to a couple of blank pages in the back. So before you get to the maps, there are two and a half blank pages. And then we get to a map. Now there's always a note, in the Thomas Nelson, the New King James Version Bibles that I have this note regarding the type, so you can pause that and read that if you want. But the comfort print was designed for the New King James Version, and I'm going to tell you, I like it. For all the Bibles that I have and I've looked through, it's easy to read. Some very pretty colorful maps. They're like a matte finish, which is nice. Sometimes they're a little bit too glossy. Maps get a little bit too glossy and they shine. You have a hard time looking at them. You're not going to have that problem with this. And that's it. We get to the back of the Bible. So, I really love this Bible. It's perfect. It's the perfect size. it'll do exactly what I need it to do. And it was less than $40 right now. When I bought it, it was $39.99. It comes in brown and black, perhaps other colors, but those are the two that I saw. So this has been a review of the New King James Version Classic Verse by Verse Center Column Reference Bible by Thomas Nelson. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. And as always, I will do my best to answer them. Because I love this Bible, and if I can help you find the resource that you need, I'll do my best to do that. Hey, listen, if this channel has blessed you and you feel at all led to give to keep this ministry going, I do have a link to my PayPal account down at the bottom of the description. Be blessed, my friends, and I hope you have a great day.